Welcome to the A to Z English podcast. My name is Jack, and today we are doing a quick chat episode. And I'm going to read the situation here, and then we're going to discuss it together. And I am here with my good friends, Agnieszka and Salime. And guys, what are major turnoffs? You know, when you meet somebody or you go on a date with someone and you realize oh, I don't like this guy, he did something or, some kind of behavior. He said something that was just really made you go, oh, I will never go on a second date with this person ever again. And we kind of call this there's a new expression now the young people use called giving you the ick. And ick means kind of it's kind of ugh, that feeling ugh, kind of gross behavior or gross personality or something like that. So let's just start with a couple, what are some of the things that really you find to be turnoffs? And I'll let either of you can jump in if you want to.
Hey, Jack. Yeah. Well, for me is when a guy treat people. I always see if how he treats people. Like if he treats bad a server or a person that is serving something to us. For me, will be like the first red flag because this means that he wouldn't treat me well, and if he treats others in a bad way, I know he is not a good person. So I always see what how he's behave with others, like how he treat others, how he behave, because give me the sides oh, okay, he's not a good guy. Mm-hmm. So for me, it will be the first red flag. Oh, no, I wouldn't date with him.
So do you, when you're on a first date, do you kind of study? You just kind of pay attention to okay, how is he talking to the barista or the server? How does he talk to his family? If he's really rude to his mother or something, that's got to be a big turnoff, right?
Yeah, and also I don't know, guys, if you have an experience like that, but I remember one time I was dating with someone that was a group date, something like that, because it was several couples.
Yeah.
And he was really controlling. He was, he didn't ask me oh, we want to order this or we want to order that. And he didn't ask me, he didn't know me. So for me, it was I wouldn't date with this guy ever.
That'll definitely give you the ick when a guy just says, oh, I know what you want. He's trying to impress you with his knowledge of, fine dining. And you're just I know what I want. I can read the menu. But he didn't let you. Yeah, that's a bad one. Yeah. Salime, what about you? What is a big turnoff or a red flag when you're pursuing a partner or going on a date with someone?
Yeah, in the beginning, there are two things. First of all, when the guy shows up late. I mean, too late. We had a date, for example. Okay, be in that place in that restaurant at 6 p.m. or whatever. But if he shows up late, sometimes it's okay. A few minutes is okay. Maybe he starts on the traffic or something like that. But if there is no excuse. So I don't like that. I don't want to, waiting in the first date for the guy. And the other thing is if he doesn't care about the health and hygiene. If he smells bad, I don't like that.
Right. If he shows up and he didn't shave or something like that, or
toothbrush, guys, this is so bad. So in that time, in my mind, is cancel. I mean, there is no second date at all. But maybe I will, try to be polite and try to talk. But definitely, this is not going. This is not going to work.
Yeah, I would say bad hygiene is like, that's a huge ick. Like, even for men and women, I think, for if I'm going on a date with someone and, they're, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, because usually it's men. Like, I mean, I hate to say it. I know this is going to be like, I'm going to get a lot of blowback from this episode because it's like, we're just trashing men in this episode, which is, it's okay. I'm okay with that. But yeah, hygiene is a big one, right? Like, in my experience, like whenever I went on a first date, I always have like mints in my pocket. I've always got cash in case if the place doesn't take credit cards, I always pay. Like, for the first date, I think the man should pay. I'm kind of old fashioned like that. I think it's really bad form to just go like, okay, let's settle the bill. You owe me, you had this, and they got a calculator and they start like, calculating the bill so you can split it 50-50. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the man should pay on the first date?
For me, it's not. I mean, it's okay if for the first date, it would be great if the man pays the bill. But for me, it's okay if we split. I pay for myself, or it's totally fine for me.
Oh, okay. You'd be cool with that. Okay. Agnieszka?
I think here is the norm, like the men pay the first date. Like is something that, well, Dominicans will be like, no, I will pay it. So I will be okay if we pay 50-50, but I think it's also, a good thing. Like if they chose, that he wants to date with you, like, okay, I want to pay because I want to spend time with you.
Right. And he's saying like, it's worth it. It's my treat because you're important enough to me for me to treat you to a meal. I mean, for me, I'm so old fashioned that like, when I first started dating my wife, I tried to pay every time, but sometimes, she's quite thoughtful. So she would like sometimes order the movie tickets online, so she'd pay for it before, so I couldn't pay, so I was like, so I would go to dinner and we would go to dinner and I would pay, and then she paid for the movie, and that kind of became the routine a little bit for us. And I was totally fine with that, but I would have paid for both, happily, because I was really interested. I find like when a guy is really like stingy and cheap, it means that they're only like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not really into it. They're kind of like, well, okay, but they're not like really pursuing you, in a proper way. But maybe you guys are younger than me, so maybe times are changing. I don't know.
No, I mean it's a positive point for a guy who pays for the first date. Actually, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, it's okay. And you said that if he pays for the restaurant or food, we can pay for other things. Like if there is a drink or ice cream or movie, so it's okay. I like this kind of
Yes, I like that too. You paid for, like, the guy pays for dinner, and then the girl, the woman is like, kind of like insists to buy coffee afterwards. And
exactly.
But the trick is the guy always you have to offer first, though. Do you know what I mean? You have to try to pay. Don't just like stand back and let the woman go and pay. I always try to like pay, and then my wife would be like, no. She'd kind of fight me for it, and I'm gonna buy the coffee. My wife has had an experience. She went on a date with an American guy, and they went on a date, and at the end of the meal, my wife was, just to be nice, she's like, oh, here's, my half of the tab. And he just snatched the money and he goes, great, thanks, and and for her, that was like a major ick. It was just bad form, and it was really unattractive. And so she never, went on a date with that guy again, which is good for me. But yeah, so that was okay. That's like one area. I'm trying to think of like a couple. What are some other like other red flags that you look for?
Jack, I have something, but it's so funny, personal. When someone makes a noise when he's eating, that's the kind of red flag for me. I hate that. I mean, not just in the date. Overall, I hate that behavior. So I don't like that when I'm dating.
Yes, no, that's a huge one. Chewing with your mouth closed, not making food sounds. Not being an animal, like eating like a proper human being. Okay, that's good. I like these. What do you guys think about like what about clothes, like how someone dresses up? Like if he shows up with like me with like a baseball cap, and is that okay? Is that bad form? Should the person dress up, like wear a tie, like a suit, a jacket? Is that important?
No, I think he have to dress up for the occasion. If he go to a restaurant, normal is, it's okay. I don't care. Only if you have, if he look good, like whatever he's wearing, I will be okay. I don't care about that.
Okay. I got another one here. Another situation. He shows up and his car is embarrassing. It's like it's old. It's it's like one door doesn't match the other door or something like that. Do you guys care about that stuff? Is that something? And I'm not trying to say like you're shallow or anything, but I do think that like presentation, like is that like it kind of give you the ick, like, oh, his car's so old or whatever? Do you care about that, like on a first date?
I guess it depends on his job and the age. I mean, if it's older than 30 or something like that, and I don't know. I mean, I never think about that, but sometimes if he has already money to fix the car and he didn't, so this is not good, right?
No, I have a story one. Oh, yeah. One of my friends was dating with a guy who was really handsome. I remember him. He was really handsome. He's a good guy, but his car, he has a really good car. I don't remember the brand, but it was a really good car. And she was, oh my God, obsessed with him that he has this car, or whatever. And he, but when they went for a day, the engine of the car stopped, and they couldn't turn. He do everything that he can, and sometimes the car start again and then stop. So she was so embarrassing, and he was so embarrassing. He was a good guy, and they came to my home because it was near to my home to fix the cars and everything. And she decided not dating with him anymore. And I was like, why? Because he was really good, but she said that he only have this car to impress and doesn't work. So she prefers a guy that have a normal car or something, whatever, that really works, or something like that. She feels that it was for impress her. So I don't know, but I always remember that. It was so funny.
Let me ask you this question, because I'm kind of curious about this. So how, like, if a guy is really handsome but he knows that he's handsome and he really loves himself, kind of too much. He's too worried about appearance. Is that a turnoff, or is that okay? Like that a guy really, cares a lot about his appearance?
I guess it's a turn off because, yeah, definitely, there are a lot of things that he can worry. It's like there is an expression, I don't remember, narcissism or something
Yeah,
like
right.
that. When
Narcissist.
someone,
Yeah.
loves, yeah, yeah. Well, this is kind of mental things. I mean, the mental problem when someone loves himself so much and just care about the appearance. So I don't like that personality and character.
Yeah.
I can deal with guys that only center in himself. Like, I hate it. I wouldn't date a guy like that.
Like checking himself in the mirror all the time in the car, like looking in the mirror and looking at himself in the mirror. That gives you the ick, right? That's just like, okay.
I have a friend that have a really good hair, like this kind of hair that every woman always like, oh, you have a beautiful hair. And he, oh my gosh, he's so obsessed with his hair. Like oh, no, I can't deal with that. And he's always conscious, like, oh, I have a good hair. He's so like,
Oh, so he's showing it off. Yeah, I already hate that guy.
Jack, there's another situation.
Mm-hmm.
If the guy starts asking inappropriate questions in the first date, I don't like that too.
Yeah.
Maybe the first date just knowing each other, not too personal questions. But I guess some people do that in the first date.
Yeah. Have you been on like dates where like the guy is like boasting about himself, like giving you his resume, basically like, I work for this company and I earn this much money and I drive this car and I live in this, apartment complex. Like, is that a big turnoff too, where like kind of like boasting a little bit about, like telling you how great he is? Does that make you feel like he's insecure, actually? Because I find that has the kind of opposite effect, right? If you just talk about yourself the whole time, you're never asking questions. Are you guys conscious of that when you're on a date? Like, he's not asking me anything about myself. Is that a turnoff?
Yeah, because he's only focused on show me that he's a good guy, but not in a good way. I think that when you date someone, you would like to not much talk like, oh, I'm doing this, I am like that. It's more like what you are doing for I believe, okay, he's a good guy, but because he's doing this or that, not because he's saying me like, oh, I am like that. For me, it only shows that he don't have the skills to impress me in another way. He only can impress me saying he's showing his qualities, but no telling me his qualities, but not showing their qualities.
Right. It's almost like a lack of confidence it's like it's overconfidence, but showing an actual weakness but in his mind, it's like, look how confident I am, but actually, I'm not very confident. I'm gonna flip it here and talk about like a bad experience that I had. So I went on a date in college with this girl, and I liked her, and we went on a kind of a group date, but she spent the whole date asking questions to the other guy, like just really interested in him. And I just basically kind of sat back and I was like, I felt like an outsider, like I was watching the date from the corner, and that was a huge turnoff for me, because I felt like, oh, okay, you're more interested in the other girl's date than me. And it was a real, it was just a really awkward, horrible date. It just felt like it just went on forever and ever. Yeah.
I have a question, Jack. Guys, how do you? Okay, when you're dating a girl, do you see how she treats your friends? How she if you have close friends like men, friends.
Mhm.
Do you care about that? Like, you see how she treats or how she behave in front of your friends?
Yes, I am kind of old school, and that kind of is related to the same situation I was talking about. It was she's too close to the other guys. Like, she didn't really care about my attention. She was more interested in getting attention from the other guys in the group. And to me, that was like a huge red flag, because I think that, and we were young. She was young, I'm not saying she's like that now, but it felt kind of like she needs the validation from guys. Just like, I want all the guys to think I'm the best, girl in the group. And she didn't really care what I thought. Maybe because we were on a date, so she's like, I already know you like me. I want all the guys to like me. And I really hate that kind of thinking. I think it's kind of the same as like boasting. It's insecurity. So I'm going to get all these other guys to think I'm the best, the hottest girl in the group, to make myself feel better, to fill a kind of hole, that she had. And I think that's a red flag, where you're like, oh no, you can't date someone like that, because they're always going to be looking around the room for someone better than me. And that's a huge turnoff, when you're in a restaurant and they're like, okay, I'm with you, but you're good enough for now. But, I'm going to just keep my eyes, peeled and look around, because maybe someone better is going to come along and I can just jump, ship and go over to the better person. And I think a lot of guys a lot of people, men and women, will overlook those red flags just because we want to be with somebody, just anybody. It's just, I'm lonely and I just want to date someone. And so, red flag number 1, red flag number 2, red flag number 3. It's probably just in my mind. I'm just imagining it, but it's not. It's real,
No, yeah.
I have a question from both of you. What about not smiling? Not smiling can be a red flag for you?
That's interesting. Yes. For me, yes. Yes. I need someone that likes my personality. And I'm the type of person who I'm going to joke all the way through. I'm not a serious person, so I like you keep it light, fun. And if she's not laughing at anything that I'm saying, I find that a huge turnoff, because I feel like she doesn't like me. Like, you don't like my personality, this is me. I'm silly.
Exactly.
I say weird things. What about Agnieszka? What do you think?
For me, it depends, because sometimes I like people when they are a little, serious, but but they know how when they have to be funny. Like, I don't know why, but I think it's for a cultural thing. Dominicans tends to be a really they joke about everything. They want to, but in a way that is sometimes is annoying. So for me, when a guy is more like, I don't know, more serious, more calm, I like more. Maybe if it doesn't smile at all, for me it will be no, okay, no. But if has more serious way, I prefer, because Dominicans tends to be really they joke about everything, and it's annoying sometimes.
And sometimes that's a nervous thing too, like nervous talking, nervous joking. And that can be really annoying too, because it shows like you're not confident enough in your own ability to have a conversation, that you're just keep making jokes and just talking and talking and talking, but you're not really saying anything. And it shows that you're nervous to be there. And it's like, I think being nervous is kind of a turnoff, right?
Yeah.
because they are nervous, like they are cute, like they did something. Oh my god, this is so difficult because it always depends on the person how he behave, because sometimes nervous is like stressful, like oh my god, why are you so nervous? But sometimes it's cute, like oh he's cute.
He's
I think
nervous.
how you most like the guy. Oh.
Yeah, if you like him, even though he's got like a little bit of a nervous energy, it could be interpreted as he really likes me. That's why he's nervous, but I like him and I know he's a good guy. So it's kind of cute how nervous he is in the beginning. Salime, please jump in. I interrupted you before.
Oh no. I mean, for me, not smiling, yeah, it kind of be a turn off because which means he doesn't like me or not interested when I'm talking. So yeah, this is a red flag. And also about being negative in the second date and also nagging, and talking about the negative things also can be a red flag for me.
Complaining. Yeah,
complaining about everything, that he had a terrible day. Okay, we all have terrible days, but this is a day, this is different. You can be more positive in that day.
right.
I mean, I don't care about the whole life. I just want to be know you in that moment. So it's okay. We can he can complain other days, but not in the first day.
Right. Yes, that is a great point. Have you ever been on a date like have you ever had a date where there was just no chemistry? Like because that happened to me. I went on a date and I met this person and like at a club and we talked and then we finally went on a date. And then we sat down and we had nothing to talk about. Can you imagine me having nothing to talk about? That's hard to believe, right? I'm a podcaster.
It happens for me it happens to me when I'm talking with, some people. Maybe the guy is so handsome, excellent job, everything is okay, but I have nothing to say. I mean, I'm talkative too, and I know that chemistry, if there is no connection between you, that was gonna be so terrible.
Yeah.
Just hi, how are you? That's it.
Yeah, like on paper, he checks all the boxes, right? Like, handsome, good job, dresses well, good hygiene, all the things are good. And then you have the date and you just realize it's just like, there's nothing there. There's no chemistry at all. That's a rough 2 hours when you have to experience that, right? Going through, you sit there. Yeah.
Because you're looking for a connection, like how to connect with the other person, and you feel like the time is passing and you're, oh my God, I didn't realize that you have 3 hours here. But when you have to look their watch and I gotta go. I prefer stay in my home than dating with you.
Yeah, you got to make up an excuse. You're like, oh, I forgot. I have to work. Something like that. What is the? I mean, we can kind of move into like a different area here a little bit, but what's the best way to find a relationship? Is it through like friendships first? Like no, or because we're kind of talking about like the traditional sense of dating, right? Where you you meet someone, you exchange phone numbers, and you make a plan, go to a restaurant together. It's a date, Is that how it works these days? Because you guys are much younger than me. So this is, back in the old days, this is what we used to do, By old days, I mean the 90s. But, is it more like natural these days? You just kind of, it evolves out of friendships, or do you still go on those kinds of dates? Even though you've had bad dates, are you still interested to go on a date with someone? You still, in the traditional sense?
I don't know. I maybe I am a rare person in this age because I hate dating with the, apps, or for a person that told me on Instagram. I have a lot of friends that actually have girlfriend boyfriends. They know in Instagram, but I wouldn't date a guy that I met or he told me, hey, in Instagram. It will be really difficult for me. So I prefer friendships, or like someone that I know, because I am really observing. Like I like to, see the guy in different situations before I can say, oh, I can, have a relationship with that person. But yeah, for me, I don't date in a normal way that people do now.
Right, right. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for this very interesting conversation. For our listeners out there, what do you think about this? Like, what gives you the ick? What are your turnoffs? What are your red flags?